Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here in a quite echoey office. So, this is the beginning to our new project. What we're going to do is we're going to use Photoshop. I'm in Photoshop right now and I have a space suit in a space walk. This astronaut or cosmonaut is it's an American, so it's an astronaut. What we're going to do is we are going to aim for a project where we are going to create a movie poster a bit like this, and we are going to start to use this as inspiration for our work. Now ours probably won't look exactly like this, and we're not expecting it to look exactly like this, but in order to make this there are things that we have to learn. One of them is to use selections. Photoshop is all about using selections. You make a selection, you move it about, you resize it, you do things to it, and then you make a new selection and you do something to that. That's basically Photoshop. So we don't need to be confused about all these things. We're not going to use all of them. We're only going to use 3 or 4 at the most, and we are going to use things called layers. So first thing, let's go and select. So on your keyboard you can hit W, and if you hit W you can see that this lights up, and this is the quick selection tool. And this little video here in Photoshop will show us how this works, and you can see these little marching ants. The great thing about Photoshop is that it tries to read the photograph, or it tries to read the picture that is there. If I click and hold on this, I get different menus. So that's the same with pretty much all of them that have this little triangle in the corner. If I go to the lasso tool up here, this has got different ones. It's got a lasso, it's got a shape lasso, it's got a magnetic lasso. So I'm going to go to my select. I've got 2 selects. I've got one called a magic wand, which is really handy, and a quick selection tool, which is a bit more pro. So we're going to learn 3 different types of selection for this spacewalk astronaut. First job is quick selection. Now my quick selection has a brush size, and you can see that this circle that's there with a cross in the middle of it is quite small. So what I can do is I can go up here and I can change the size of this selection, because I want it to select all this black, and what I want to do is select this astronaut and move this astronaut about. So what I can do is bring it up here. Next to it there is a takeaway. Now we're going to learn about this a little bit later, and you got a plus, so we're going to start adding things. This plus here, we're going to start adding things to our selection, and as I start to click and move my mouse around, the great thing about Photoshop is it tries to do things for us pretty intelligently. So down here I can select all this black too. And if I zoom in a little bit, we'll show you about zoom and what this is in a moment, but I'm going to use Alt on my keyboard and my mouse wheel. Alt is next to your spacebar. The black bleeds through here, so hopefully Photoshop will select all that too. And as I click around, you can see it's gone in here, it's gone between the astronaut's legs, and it's also gone around here and tried to join it up over here too. Now if I click in here, you can see that my brush is rather large and it goes either side, but it should select the black, but oh no, my brush has gone straight into the white here and it's made too much of a selection. So I can go to edit and I can undo that quick selection, that single step, like that. So I'm going to go and bring my brush down to a little bit smaller so it fits inside, and it starts to think a little bit more intelligently. You can see that I'm going a little bit faster now, and I can go and select inside here. Now all the black's gone, I can go and delete this, and I hit the delete key like that. Now we can see there are some black marching ants all around the astronaut and around the edge. Now if I want to try and do stuff to this later, this is going to stop me from doing things unless I want to paint inside the astronaut. I don't want to paint inside the astronaut. So the other thing about Photoshop is you have to deselect. So deselect on your keyboard is Control and D. So I can Control and D, and it will get rid of the deselect option like that. Alright, that's job number 1.